Two of those public servants who did work there, Ian Samuel, clerk for the late Justice Antonin Scalia, Radhika Rao, clerk for Justice Harry Blackmun during Planned Parenthood versus Casey, the second abortion case before the Supreme Court. Appreciate you both being here. Ian, start with you since you were more recent to the court. What is the chance that the votes change from what this draft opinion had?
It can happen, and it can happen anytime right up literally until the morning that the opinion is handed down, right? And I thought it was notable that the draft that was circulated into the media was circulated in February, right? And so this is an initial draft. You circulate that initial draft, and then you inevitably get notes and comments back from the other chambers and colleagues. Sometimes they can be, helpful points of clarification, things like that. And sometimes people can read a dissent and change their minds, or just think about it more and change their minds. Or they can read the reasoning of the majority opinion, and they can think, well, that's not quite how I was thinking about it, so maybe I'll concur only in the judgment unless you can make these changes. So it's completely possible, and this is an old draft. So
right, or they come to work today and see massive protests and watch cable news and hear the outrage from the left and the sort of weird silence from the right that doesn't want to celebrate right now. Live pictures of the Supreme Court in terms of what the justices and the clerks came today. Radhika, I'm wondering, and obviously times change, but is leaking a Supreme Court draft opinion as easy as just hitting print on the printer and walking out with it and taking it to a reporter?
I can't imagine that happening when I was there. No one at the time could have imagined something like this happening. So it's quite shocking and astonishing. But yes, you're right. Clerks and justices do have access to those draft opinions. So, and presumably they have access to them, not just at the court, but, through email. So yes, they could have a draft and they could walk out of the building with it. Or if they have access to the file, perhaps they could even have it on their laptop and,
right.
and have access to it that way.
The problem with laptops and emails is there's all sorts of traceability to it. And when you email it from your Supreme Court address to your Gmail address, and then from your Gmail address to a reporter, I see Ian nodding there, that all of a sudden it makes it a lot easier to figure out who leaked this.
Yes.
All right. So, Ian, the Supreme Court marshal is going to investigate, not the FBI, although I guess they could call in help from the FBI. I'm almost wondering, though, is this a crime?
Well, it could be. There is a federal statute that prohibits the sort of misuse of federal property or federal information or something like that. Oren Kerr, who's a law professor at Berkeley, I believe, and who's a great criminal law expert, has speculated that that is a possibility, that it could be a crime. But you're right, the cybersecurity risks are substantial. That's why I thought it was interesting that Josh Gerstein's byline was shared with Politico's a national security reporter.
Yeah.
And I also, you'd have to, for example, be, maybe married to a reporter, as one of the clerks at the Supreme Court right now is, to be confident in the kind of, this sort of breach not being able to be detected. But I think that's why that national security reporter byline is there, to be able to sort of provide assurances that this can be done in a secure way.
Yeah, and then you also have the question of why. Radhika, as you kind of think about this, we came up with three theories, right? Number one, it's a liberal clerk or justice who's trying to pressure the five people who signed on to drop off. It's somebody who's conservative who is trying to make sure that one of these five doesn't go squishy, and they want to try to force somebody's hand, particularly somebody like Kavanaugh or Gorsuch's hand, who are sort of seen as the swing votes. The third option is the wild card, right? It's a Democratic operative who says, oh boy, what a way to distract from gas prices and all of President Biden's problems and get Democrats to rally around the president and the media. Any one part of the fact pattern fit any one of those better?
You're thinking of the same possibilities I was thinking about, and speculating myself as to who could have done it and why they would have done it. There's been so much speculation about Ginny Thomas that, who knows whether spouses of Supreme Court justices have access to these documents as well. No, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek there, but
maybe the chief did it.
No, it's kind of wild. Ian, last question real quick, 20 seconds. Was there any when you were there of like if you printed something out, you had to type in a code, or if you took something home on a computer or anything like? There was no tracing of these.
No, there was nothing like that. What there was a speech from Justice Scalia at the very beginning of the year, which you could tell he did not enjoy delivering, which is, if you ever betray the confidences of these chambers, I will do everything in my power to ruin your career. And he let it hang there for a moment, and you could tell he didn't like saying it. And he moved on, and he didn't have to say it twice.
Yeah, it didn't ruin Anonymous's career during the Trump administration. There's a fat book deal for that one. Who knows whether that continues here. Thank you both. We appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.